of storytelling. Let me begin with a story. Once upon a time, many years ago, a child was born to a mother who had many unfulfilled dreams. The mother, looking at the child, "You are going to fulfill all my dreams." Not keeping into consideration the child would have its own dream. This child was witness to many atrocities by her mom. This child was sent onto the stage at the tender age of 5, where the child had to enact a mythological character from the Hindu mythology. Then time went on. This child was taken to different homes and parties and was said, "Say hello to this auntie, say hello to that uncle, say something in English," things like that. The child was so scared. Well, the child was bigger now. The child was so petrified by all these people and couldn't open the mouth. One more thing, the child, till the age of 3, could not say the letter K. So, if Coca-Cola was wanted, it became as Tota-Tola. And Choco was Choto. So imagine the state of this child.
Chandra aunty, glass eduthu vekkana.
Sorry? Okay. Interruptions come between stories, but that's okay. You have to go on, as Toastmaster Anup says, on the fly. Yeah, let's continue flying. Where was I? So yeah, time went on and time moved on, and then this child decided, that's it. I am not going to get scared anymore. People come, they tell me hello, I will dance for them. K, I will say a story entirely made starting with the letter K. And that's when the child transformed into the person that you are seeing on the screen today. This child is me, Toastmaster Baba. We started with a story. Thank you. So started with a story. Now, what did I do in the story? Like, why do we want to listen to a story? First thing, you can pass on a message without shutting off the other person's brain. When you say once upon a time, the brain starts imagining things. The imagination starts and we go. Even scientifically, emotionally, this creates a lot of happy hormones in our brain. So it's something good for our body. Pass on a moral. Now, if I were to tell you, hey, you have to work hard, you'll be like, shut up, I don't want to listen to you, But you tell the story of the turtle and the rabbit. You would want to be slow and steady and you want to work hard in your life without me telling you directly that, hey, what you're supposed to do. Then, like in Hindi, what do you say? I is main in Hindi, okay? So now if I were to tell my story in Hindi, I would be a goat. Meh, meh, meh. I have done so much. So nobody wants to listen to a goat. If I tell it in a third person perspective, you are excited. And you're like, oh, okay, who's this person? Who's this person? So you can appreciate yourself in a story. And towards the end, you can say, hey, that was me. No. So these are the benefits of telling a message in a story. Also, the last one is you can remove frustration. For example, you have a boss at work, So you can say, once upon a time, there was a manager who never listened to this employee. Every time this employee wanted a leave or a sick leave, the manager would say, no, you're not supposed to get a leave. You have to work. So you can also remove your frustration. Again, emotionally, this is good for your brain. You just see it from a third person's point of view. Yeah. So these are why. Now, who was that person? Toastmaster Isabella? Who was that person who saw the apple falling from the tree?
Newton.
Newton. Thank you, Toastmaster Isabella. Okay. So Newton, everybody saw the apple was falling. Now only Newton decided to ask why. So even in our lives, if you know what is your why, life is easier. Now Toastmaster Hazard, well, she disappeared. Don't turn off your camera. I am looking at everyone. Yeah. So Toastmaster Hazard, your name is from the mountains, Hajar Mountains?
Well, Hazar in Hindi means 1000, but in Arabic it means the nightingale's echo. In Iraq it means something else. So it depends which country you're asking my name from.
Perfect. Your country.
Sorry, my country, nightingale's echo. It's in Arabic.
Nightingale's echo. Wow. Okay. I mean, that can become a story. A person whose name was Nightingale's echo. Okay, Toastmaster Hazard, I have a question for you. What was the first story you heard?
In my life?
Yes, please.
I can't remember really the first story.
Your mom is always at home. I'm sure she told you a story.
I have a story for you.
Okay. No, I don't want the story. My education session, you will time me out. Just tell me what was the story.
As a child, I hated boiled eggs.
Okay.
But mom comes from a very strict background, so she wouldn't take no for an answer. And she would start diplomatically, Mama Hazar, please eat the egg. I would say, Hazar, eat the egg. Are you gonna eat the egg or not? And then there would be a slipper hiding somewhere there. Eat it, girl, you have to eat it. So this is a story.
The return of the slipper, you know? Thank you, Toastmaster Hazard. Toastmaster Smita. Yeah. Like during the speech, your cameras were on. And now that I'm on the screen, your cameras have been turned off. Hey, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Toastmaster Smita.
Yes,
ma'am. Which is your favorite story so far?
I would say the fox and the hen.
The fox and the hen. What was the moral of the story?
Moral of the story is don't be greedy.
Ah, okay. My husband should listen to that. Okay. Fox and the hen. I'll have to see that story. Thank you, Toastmaster Smita. Toastmaster Rauf. You opened the meeting with a grandeur. Now come on, show yourself. Ah, there he is. Okay. Toastmaster Rauf. Do you like listening to stories?
Yes, of course.
Yes. And why? What is your why? Why do you like listening to stories?
It's quite interesting to listen to stories.
Okay.
And to understand certain messages when people are using the stories.
Right. Okay. Do you tell stories?
Sorry?
Do you tell stories?
Not much.
Not much. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Rauf. Toastmaster Nimi. Tell me, what's your secret? Which story do you like?
I like the story of a goat who wanted to fly.
Goat who wanted to fly.
Fly, yeah.
Okay. So in one of the speeches, you can incorporate that story. I'll come to listen to this. Sure. I don't know which story is that. Okay. Thank you for your participation. Now that we have why, next comes the question how. Now, Toastmaster Rauf, he likes listening to stories and putting his head outside the bus or the car, whatever that was. Now, he knows how to put his head outside. But how to tell a story? That is his main question. Okay. So, we'll come to the how. So, how is the first thing? Take your story, take an incident, take your day, today's day, and put it in a third-person perspective. Like, for example, Toastmaster Rauf, because we are focusing on him, he's in the limelight. So there was this person who opened the 8th meeting of a very young and flourishing club. This person likes traveling and putting his head out of the window. Maybe his parents never told him, Rauf, you don't have to do that. So all this in third person perspective. You're talking about yourself, but make it a third person perspective. Second, who doesn't like drama? Everybody likes drama. Yeah. Up in the sky, the goat wanted to fly. Just imagine goat having wings. Yeah. The goat wanted to fly. And the flying slipper comes when the child does not eat eggs. So dramatization. Give wings to things that don't have wings. Give wheels to things that don't have wheels. Dramatize it in a positive way, in a nice way. Yeah. Then, emotions. So when I spoke about that child who could not say the letter K and had to say Tota Tola, that's true. My teacher, when she used to write Coco on the board, I used to say Toto. I was in UKG and this memory is still so fresh. Like it's around 25 years ago, I guess. Yeah. And this memory is still so fresh. She just looked at me like this. Like, can't you say K? And I was like, I don't know, it's a defect in me. So, but then I decided that I am going to get out of my predicament. So this was an emotion. This was an emotion where all of us come through, like all of us are in a situation where we want to get out of. Like maybe quarantine or lockdown or a difficult job or Toastmaster Anand, getting out of the washing dishes chores, he wants to get out of it. So how will he do that? Yeah. So emotion, you want to do something, inspiration. So think what emotions you want the other person to feel. Like today, Toastmaster Anand wanted us to be inspired and he wanted to persuade us to maybe get into kitchen, all the men out here, get into the kitchen and wash your dishes. Yalla, what are you doing? Yeah. And what was the other thing? IKEA, renting furniture. I love buying things from IKEA. I get my screwdriver and hammer and everything. I put things together. So I was persuaded in that. I don't know. So emotion. And the last part, body language. We all know that our body speaks volumes. So when I turned on my camera and then, I went like this, dun, 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 and once upon a time, and coming close to the camera and looking into your eyes, well, multiple eyes at one time, but yes, looking into your eyes. And the props. The props, if I had just come like this, you would be like, okay, fine, just another education session. But once you put on a prop or a hat, people are excited. Visually, you have them captivated. So this would be your how. And the third part that I would come to is like how to implement it in your life. Like you heard the education session today. Some of the things will click with you, some things will not click with you. Give yourself some time, be patient. And now whenever you're driving, where is Toastmaster Ghazi? Yeah. So whenever Toastmaster Ghazi is driving now, he can think of a story, how his day went. He's like, oh, today this person in Kandora fired so many people, because they were not getting kadak chai for him. I am hoping that he likes kadak chai, yeah. Or maybe this person in Kandura was so nice today. He helped so many people on the road and he let everyone overtake him. Oh. Just imagine that happening. So that would be, see, even in a story, you forget what you're saying. So let me quickly come to the presentation, like just summarize it. I am not so good at summarizing, but okay. So storytelling, dun, dun. Understand why. Why are stories told? To pass on a message, to teach a model, to appreciate someone or something, to inspire, remove frustration. Benefits of stories. They are easy to digest. No one takes it personally. You can say to someone, you know, like you're so lazy in a story, but they will not take it personally. Inspiration from within. You tell someone a story today, after 3 months, definitely this person would be achieving their goals. Can be passed down to generations. That we all know, grandmother stories, you know, and grandfather stories also. How to make a story? Third person narrative, dramatization, emotions, very important to know what you want the listener to feel. Body language. Explore your body, be comfortable with your body. How to implement in your life? Prepare mentally. When you are free, conjure up a story. Be patient, 6 months at least, to actually give a story that you want to give, which is there in your head. And last but not the least, believe in yourself. How the child believed in herself that she can say "k" and not "the" every time. You will be there. With this, I conclude and they lived happily ever after. Thank you so much. Over to Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. That is